You know, it's an amazing thing to get to stand out in God's creation and see the beauty of everything around you. And yet there are times in our lives that it's hard to even just see the beauty because life is hard. Difficult things are happening. In the Bible, it talks about Jesus giving the disciples his peace, leaving peace with them. In the English language, sometimes when we talk about peace, we think of it as an absence of conflict, no war. But in the Hebrew language, when they talk about peace, it's more about shalom, reaching that right place of relationship with God and your brothers and sisters. Reaching that place where, as Frederick Buechner talks about, our heart is filled with love, not with fear. And so today, we're going to have a conversation with someone who went through one of the harder times in his life and how and where he found peace in the midst of the difficult times.
It was a long journey. It was a difficult journey. There was a lot of joy in the journey, though. There was a lot of love in the journey. I had 35 years almost with Alice, and that was a tremendous blessing for me. Alice's illness that ultimately took her life, we first noticed at a doctor's appointment when she was walking down a hallway, and I had begun to notice a little bit of a hitch in her step, in her gait. And the physician saw it and said, "You might need to check with a neurologist." And so we did. She went to a local neurologist here at St. Vincent's who was wonderful. And it was pretty obvious to him after about 6 months or so that this was more than he was equipped to deal with. And so she went to UAB, David Geldmacher there, who is one of Christ's great people on earth, and he provided, along with his staff, just tremendous care for her all the way through the journey, which I guess looking back on it overall was maybe 5, 6 years. We made a commitment early on that we were going to go and live her life as fully as we could live it together for as long as we could do it. And so even as her illness progressed, we would still go out to dinner. We would go for walks here in Jemison Park. We tried to live what she had left of her life as fully as we possibly could until physically and otherwise she simply was not able to do it. So we found joy in restaurants, even when, as the illness progressed, I might have to help her eat, or the wait staff would have to give her a little bit extra attention. But there was joy there. There was love in that. Alice was a runner until she wasn't able to run anymore. Then she was a walker. And she always walked the Jemison Trail. She loved it. And as her illness progressed, it was more and more difficult for her to navigate the walk. Some very, very dear friends of hers that were in our Sunday school class, a Fellowship 2 class, and then in a Bible study with her, started walking with Alice along with some other friends in the community. The walks got shorter as Alice's illness progressed, but they kept coming. Even after she wasn't able to walk anymore and she was confined to a bed in our house, they kept coming. I could never adequately express the gratitude that I hold for them. I really can. And it reminds me, Keith, of that song, the lyrics from that song that was sung at Alice's celebration service, "From the gravest of all valleys come the pastures we call grace." That nails it. There used to be this little rickety wooden bridge that one day Alice started to become a little hesitant about crossing over, because one of one of the issues with her illness was it affected her vision. And so it was rickety, it was narrow, she had trouble with it, she actually stumbled on it once. And so after she passed away, we thought a nice way to remember Alice and remember all those who walked with us was to help out with replacing the bridge. And I like to think it's been a good addition to the park. It sure is nice when Kat and Flo and I are in the park to walk over it and remember their mama.
First, I want to thank Harlan for his willingness to share his story and his journey with all of us and to allow us into his life. That's a part of that ingredient of peace, that allowing people in. So as you begin to think about peace during this week of Advent, I invite you to consider two questions. One, who are people and what are places where you experience peace? That peace that is deep within us, not just the lack of conflict, but where we are filled with love. And who are the people in your life that bring love into your life when they enter in?